What's up, everybody? I'm Cass, and Scream Fortress 14 has arrived for Team Fortress 2. One of the highlights of the first week of October for me is always when the Scream Fortress update comes out, and I get to make videos exactly like this one going over the patch notes and all the cool new stuff in the game. And this year's Scream Fortress does not disappoint. Just like last year, we got 6 new maps, 5 new taunts, a new cosmetic case, a new war paints case. There's new contracts associated with the new maps, and while not a new feature, you can replay all the old maps from previous Scream Fortress events, which totals to 30 now. The 6 new maps included are Sawmill, Hell Train, Bonesaw, Crasher, Gulpit, and Spooky Ridge. I played 1 or 2 rounds each for all the new maps that have come out, and I think the maps we've gotten this year are far better than the ones we've gotten last year, not only in terms of variety, but also in terms of quality. Sawmill is the first one I played, and probably the most disappointing out of the list, because it's just Sawmill that's been Halloweenified. At first, when I saw this was a new addition, I was confused, because I thought, didn't they already add this to Halloween mode? And then I realized, no, that was Snowville, the Christmas one. I'm not knocking Sawmill or anything, it's a fine map, but you already have 2 versions of this in the regular game, and you have 2 holiday versions of it. It's not that good. It does contain portals to the underworld though, that give you crits temporarily to take back the main point, and the main point takes forever to capture. So at least it was a little different. Moving on to the much more interesting Hell Train. This is probably my most favorite map out of all the new ones. In it, you play on a moving train, racing through the desert in the middle of the night, while you and the opposing team battle it out for control of the intelligence, because it's a capture the flag map. There's portals in picture frames where you can see the room that you're portaling to. Wait. Portaling. No, I guess that's a thing. Never mind. The attention paid to detail in the design of this map is just really, really cool, and I found myself actually distracted from the main objective and just wandering around admiring the detail of the map. At least that's what I told myself. In actuality, I kinda got lost. Like a lot of Capture the Flag maps do, this one has a lot of winding twists and turns in it that can be a little confusing if you're not familiar with the layout, which no one is because it's brand new. That, and the fact that when you're on the outside of the map, like the back end, there's a bit of a frame rate loading issue, are really my only complaints in what is otherwise a fabulous standout map, and I'll definitely be coming back and playing this one a lot in the coming weeks. Moving on to Bonesaw, the premise of this one is very unique as well. It's kind of like Hell Tower, except instead of pushing graves, you're pushing grave diggers. And when you get to the end of your specific track, the team has to stand around the grave digger and get it to charge up enough to cut through the grave as kind of like a percentage. And then you go into the underworld, jump around some platforms, and try to get to a book. Awesome gameplay, awesome art style for the map design, and it was really fun to play. Again, a lot like Hell Tower, but still feeling completely fresh and different. And speaking of fresh and different, say hello to Crasher. The closest thing I could call this map is Capture the Flag, but it's totally different. The twist for this one is one player from your team has to stand in front of the scientist ray gun, get shot, and turn into a giant. He then has to deliver what I think is a bomb to the enemy's gate and damage it. After you deliver 3 of these, the enemy gate is blown up and you win. Kind of like reverse Capture the Flag, I guess. At the same time, the enemy team has their own ray gun, they're trying to create their own giant and do the exact same thing. The rest of the team who's not the giant is obviously trying to fight against the other team, keep your own giant alive, and reduce the other giant to a pile of rubble. People kept calling it the Attack on Titan mode of TF2, and I had to look that up because I didn't understand what they meant. Made me feel kind of stupid, quite honestly. But that's besides the point. This particular map is definitely the highlight of the update. I thought it would be Hell Train because Hell Train was amazing, but no, it is definitely Crasher. And you can tell there's sort of a meta to this whole game mode, a proper way of doing it to play it, but it's very challenging, and given that, again, the update is only hours old, people haven't quite figured it out yet. But I imagine we're gonna see a big strategy emerging here in the next few days. So you guys need to stop what you're doing and be a part of that, because Crasher is definitely worth experiencing. Gulpit is another payload map, although a more standard one than Bonesaw. While it doesn't rely on a new gimmick like Bonesaw does to stand out or be interesting, it's definitely a much more well-designed map and has a much more balanced play going on with it. It's definitely a worthy addition to the lineup. I just don't really feel like I have anything extra to say about it other than it's good, play it. Oh, and by some sort of freak accident, I found this one spot where you can get up on the roof of a building. I call it Delphi's Happy Place. Lastly, we have Spooky Ridge. This is the one map in the update that is Attack Defend. There's 2 points for this one. Kind of like Dust Bowl, except unlike Dust Bowl, there's not 3 different sections to fight in. Now, I didn't play this one as much as the other ones because I was trying to finish up this video, but from what I played, it also seemed like a pretty decent map. Honestly, out of all the ones in this update, I can't pick a bad map out of all of these. Maybe I'd make an exception for Sawmill just because we get it already, but it's not a bad map or anything. Anyway, I've talked about the maps for like 6 minutes now, but that is the highlight of the update, at least for me personally. Let's move on to talking about the new cosmetics though. We've got the Ghoulish Gains case, pretty cool looking. At the time of me making this video, it's being sold on the community market for around $2 a pop. Obviously, that's not gonna last. The price will only continue to go down as time passes. In this case, you have 22 new community-created cosmetic items, and you have a chance of getting one of 5 new community-created Halloween restricted items as a bonus. Now, I'm putting all these items up on screen for you guys to check out. There's definitely some cool ones in here, but for me personally, the cosmetics have never really been a big deal for me in the new Halloween updates. They're cool and I like to look at them, but they're nothing that I personally would go out and spend my money on most of the time. I never find them all that compelling. What I do find much more compelling are the taunts. The first one being the Scaredy Cat, an all-class taunt where everybody gets scared, jumps, says a little funny voice line.
Bloody stupid game.
We've got Texas Twirl'em, where the engineer decides to show off his cowboy skills. We have the Travel Agent, which is my personal favorite out of the bunch. We have the Drunk Man's Cannon, which appears to be kind of like a demo adaptation of the tank taunt for the soldier. And lastly, we have Shanty Shipmate. Now, if no one else has thought of this, I just want to throw this out there. We need an entire server of demo men doing this on the actual Degroot Keep map, just because it would be hilarious. Moving on, we have 25 new community-created unusual effects. Some of them look really cool, some of them look just like slight variations of stuff we already have, kind of like an NFT collection. I'm not going to show them all off here, but I would recommend that you check out a cool video by Enigmus, who shows them all off on his channel. I'll have that link down below and you can check it out if you want. Moving on though, we've also got a new Scream Fortress Warpaint case, which has 11 new community created Warpaints that make up the Scream Fortress 14 Warpaint collection. You also have a chance to get a Taunt Unusual Fire as a bonus item. And yeah, that is basically all the new stuff from Scream Fortress 14. You also have all the normal stuff that you can expect from a Scream Fortress update, such as the Soul Gargoyle that you can now upgrade coming back around. You have all the contracts from last year reset so that you can replay them again. You have new contracts for the 6 new maps that they've added. And this is something I really appreciate about TF2 is when they add these new maps and these new contracts, they always kind of usually put them separate off so that you don't have to complete the old contracts that you completed already last year again in order to play the new ones. One final bonus attached to the end of this update, we also got a couple of little improvements to Snake Water. So if you're an avid Snake Water player, good for you guys. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where my video ends. What do you guys think about Scream Fortress 14? Have you tried any of the new maps? Which ones do you enjoy? Which ones do you hate? Let me know down in the comments below. And please tune in this Saturday when I will be streaming these new maps myself right here on the channel and completing all the new contracts. Would love to have some of you guys join me if you want to. Regardless, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do leave me a like. And until next time, I've been your host, Kes Gaming, and I will see you all at the top. Happy Halloween, everybody.